But they don't have Damian Lillard, and let's see if Miles Turner is enough to get them back into that upper echelon of the Eastern Conference. And that's all really you can expect in watching Giannis and how he makes his decision going forward.
Guys, the quarter mark of this NBA season is basically going to be a big part of what happens here with Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Milwaukee Bucks. Teams around the league know that. And listen, two big things happened this offseason that we've never seen from Giannis Antetokounmpo. He was open, wanting to play outside of Milwaukee if he were to, and that was the New York Knicks. And that was made clear behind the scenes. And the Bucks did pick up that phone call when the Knicks made that phone call. There were offers made. There were conversations had. Those are all things that occurred.
I would just say that the opportunity for Milwaukee to have a season beyond the first round, like it's been the last 3 years, is now. When you look at where the Eastern Conference is, and of course New York and Cleveland, but it's so wide open beyond that with the injuries to Jason Tatum and Tyrese Halliburton. And if it's not now, when is it going to be? And if I'm Giannis, and if we're losing in the first round again, of course you're going to want to look at options outside of staying in Milwaukee. But as Sham said, the first quarter of the season is going to be paramount here as far as how good of a start this team can get off to.
So what are you looking at? If you're a Bucks fan who's listening to this and saying, yeah, I understand that. I would want Giannis to want to win as well. What would be a successful first quarter mark if you're a fan wanting to see this play out?
You're not playing from the back. We saw last year Milwaukee was playing from the back for most of the first 20, 25 games. They were waiting for Chris Middleton to come back here. If you're up there as far as one of these top 3 or 4 teams, you're not a play-in team. I think that gives Giannis the hope that this team can contend for a championship.
Here's the thing. The Bucks have known they've been under pressure with Giannis for the
when you have a star of that magnitude, this is the way that teams operate.
Yeah, John Horst, when he made the trade for Dame, basically said, when you have Giannis on your team, you're always under pressure. You're always
when they shipped out Eric Bledsoe and brought in Drew Holiday, they were doing
this
that
is not new for them. This is just where we are right now, and the question is, do they have enough?
And that's going to be the question that hopefully in the first quarter there is some clarity on, because it sounds like that is when there's going to continue to be evaluated.
This is the team in August that Giannis Antetokounmpo wanted to play for if he were to be traded outside of Milwaukee, if these two sides could reach agreement on a deal. And so the Bucks also picked up that phone call that the Knicks made. And I was told essentially from one source that this was an exclusive negotiating window that the Knicks had over multiple weeks. In August, Leon Rose, the Knicks president, called John Horst, the Bucks general manager. These sides had multiple conversations. Offers were made, but there are two sides to this. The Bucks, I'm told, believe that the Knicks did not even offer a deal strong enough to continue these conversations. The Knicks believe, I'm told, that the Bucks never seriously considered a trade of Giannis Antetokounmpo this summer, and this all stems from the facts that Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Bucks still believe, is a guy that can help them right now win a championship. They still want to win with Giannis Antetokounmpo. That's what I'm told. John Horst told Giannis Antetokounmpo in their face-to-face meeting in late July that we can still win here with you. But clearly, Giannis Antetokounmpo aired his level of concern as well with the roster. And so that's where these two sides are at. And people in New York have known, going back to 2024, that if this point ever came, Giannis Antetokounmpo might actually want to play in New York. So they've had knowledge that this is a possibility for a little bit of time here. They had a window, no deal.
I think we're about to get to a moment of truth, and I think we've got basically a one-year timeline when you look at the future of Giannis in Milwaukee here. Here's a player, if we fast forward to next summer, is extension eligible. And that is going to show a lot of us what his commitment to the Milwaukee Bucks is going to be. Because we know that 4-year, $275 million extension is going to be there next summer. And if he doesn't sign that extension, or maybe if this team struggles during the course of this year, that Milwaukee front office is going to have to make a decision before Giannis comes to them and forces their hand.
Well, and something that Shams laid out in his story is that Giannis signed an extension with the Bucks in 2021. He signed another extension with the Bucks in 2023. But is the window closed here? We're heading into training camp. Giannis has just joined this team in Milwaukee. He said when he got there, he told reporters meeting with them in person for the first time, he's excited about the youth of this group. Is there still a pathway?
So for the Knicks exclusive window, that window has shut. When we talk about windows, let's shut that window, because if this ever comes about where Giannis Antetokounmpo going into the season, he's going to start considering his best external options, that window with the Knicks has closed. So you look around the league and he's going to continue, I'm told, to keep his options open. and see how does the Bucks season start. The first quarter of the year is going to be very, very important. Stakeholders within the Bucks organization know this is somewhat of a make or break season for them. And his agent, Alex Saratzis at Octagon, he's been fielding rampant interest in Giannis since the May draft combine. He's going to be at the center of fielding and navigating this situation if it plays out into this season. Giannis, we know when the year begins, he's going to be focused. His numbers are going to skyrocket this year with the burden that he's going to have. But it's going to come down to wins and losses. John Horst and the Bucks, they believe this is a championship quality roster. There's been some questions Giannis has raised. Results will show themselves.
And John Horst and Wes Edens is who you were just seeing on your screen right there, some of the Bucks brass and decision makers. As we say hello to our brass, Brian Windhorst and NBA champ Kendrick Perkins joining us here with a little bit more reaction to Sham's reporting. Brian, how are folks around the league digesting the idea that Giannis may be at some point available depending on this first quarter, right? So that puts us at about December.
Yeah, there's been an expectation for quite some time that Giannis's days in Milwaukee, one way or another, are numbered. Whether that was going to happen this year, whether it's going to happen potentially during this season, or whether it could happen next summer, as Bobby laid out there. And when you get to situations like this, I find it very useful to focus on actions over words. Let's look at the actions of the parties that we have discussed here. The Milwaukee Bucks waived and stretched Damian Lillard. That cost them $100 million in dead money on their books. Then they spent an additional $100 million to sign Miles Turner this summer. Those are not the actions of a team that is about to trade the best player they've had since Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, okay? Then you look at the New York Knicks. Obviously, they knew it was possible that Giannis would be available, and we saw some teams this summer potentially hold back on moves with the idea that Giannis could be available. So the idea that you wouldn't be prepared for this kind of phone call, I don't think is true. And despite knowing that, the Knicks went ahead and extended Mikal Bridges, which significantly limited their ability to make a major trade. Again, that action indicates that they didn't think they were in position to make this type of trade right now. And let's go to Giannis. If you want to be traded as a star player that makes over $50 million a year in the apron era, especially if you have a small selection of teams that you want to be traded to, you do not ask for a trade or discuss a trade in August. Those discussions happen before the NBA offseason begins. That's not to say that a trade couldn't happen, but certainly he would have to understand that. So I definitely think the actions that we see indicate at some point Giannis could again be discussed with the Knicks or elsewhere. But I look at the actions here, and I don't think they were ever going to lead to a deal over the summer between New York and Milwaukee.
Not to mention listening to what Giannis has said since he joined the team joined Media Day via Zoom, joined the team. He said what is important to him is winning a championship. And that's sort of been the same story for Giannis since I covered him, for the last 8 years. Perk, what do you make of this?
That he's out.
Really?
He's out. Listen, I'm about 100% sure, and this is just me assuming, this is just coming straight from Perk, no sources, that we will not see Giannis Antetokounmpo in the Bucks uniform at the end of this season. I believe he's giving the Bucks an opportunity right now, privately, before he goes publicly. Now, if you'd asked me this a week ago, before my guy Shams did this reporting today, I would have said, nah, Giannis gonna be in the Bucks uniform. You know why? Because they signed his brother, Thanasis, back, right? But that was a signing of desperation to say, you know what, Giannis, here, we're doing everything we possibly can. But I believe it's time. And if I'm the Bucks, I also believe with this report coming out that the Bucks phones are going to be ringing here shortly, because we are talking about Giannis Antetokounmpo, in my opinion, already a top 5 greatest power forward to ever play the damn game of basketball. One of the most dominant players to play, generational talent that is in the middle of his prime. The phone is ringing. I do not expect Giannis Antetokounmpo to be in the Milwaukee Bucks uniform by the end of the season.
Okay, well, I'm going to pick up my phone and I'm going to ring Mr. Bobby Marks here, because Shams reported in this story, right, and you mentioned this a little bit earlier on our show, that maybe the best deal wasn't fully put forward here from the New York Knicks, because also there was a thought that they didn't think that the Milwaukee Bucks maybe were fully 2 feet into making this discussion. So let's dive in, Bobby.
Yeah.